Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today, and I'm really happy to introduce you to Adam, Jull and Charlie Dawson here from IMSCAD, and we're looking to talk everything, well, the majority of the software department in regards to NVIDIA, so in vGPUs, Omniverse and AI Enterprise, and look, it's a wide field, but what I want to focus on specifically today is how IMSCAD can help you and help the partners, help the end users deliver a really successful and an efficient NVIDIA platform. And I think the word efficient is really important. I know we'll get into that later. And I know it becomes very bespoke towards the end user and whether they're skilled up, whether they have a focus on their graphical applications, and where you can help with that. So I think, Adam, it's a good time to jump into the first question in regards to who are IMSCAD and what do they do and how can they help?
Well, thanks, Kieran. Great to be here and talk about this. We partner with Tech Data to offer best-in-class services and support for any reseller in the ecosystem across EMEA. Or end user that want to deliver an NVIDIA solution. And we've got a consultative team, a support team that second and none do this stuff day in, day out. So it's really important that when you take on these projects that you have the right knowledge for certain, and certainly experience in delivering the different application mixes and things you're going to have to deal with an end user. It's essential. When we started the business 10 years ago, we were way back, obviously, as far as the technology goes, but before even NVIDIA's time. But at that time, we started out as IMSCAD. We were partnering and contracted by Autodesk directly in the US for doing their products onto Citrix at the time, and that was the virtualization skill set that we acquired. And then we went with ISVs into more of a sort of third-party testing phase where actually they would use us for that end-to-end kind of, they've got a new product coming out, they'd use us as a test bed, as a third party, because it's not just them saying it, then it's just a third party saying it as well. So we've got all this experience and knowledge base within our team that we've built up over the years, and all that now has led us to this situation in the last few years, moving into the world with Tech Data, to offer all our skill sets and all our knowledge that we've acquired over these years, to offer it out to partners and end users alike. Because I think there is a knowledge gap in the market, in the supply chain, and we're there to hopefully fill it. And we encourage you all to come and have a chat about that, and hopefully that'll be great. But
Absolutely, and I think leads perfectly into the first piece of real technology in places. When it comes to VDI with vGPU, when it comes to those graphical application deployments, where can you help? Where can we really maximise efficiency within these partners, and not just the partners, but the actual opportunity itself for the end user?
Yeah, again, most resellers will likely have a knowledge gap in this area. Okay, so they won't have the skill sets in house to deliver this. They won't be used to doing it. They may have done one or two things in the past, but it's not a regular thing they're going to be used to doing, and getting that great experience for the customer ultimately, because that's what you want to get. vGPU desktops inherently, whether in the public cloud or even on premise, are tricky to get right. Users are very demanding. They're used to a very high spec workstation under the desk, and it's a big change, right? So obviously the culture within the company is another area we can help with. And we've just done a lot of these sort of types of things. And so our processes and our expertise and experience really do count for something when you're coming up against this stuff. So, whatever goes, if something goes wrong, how are you going to figure it out? If you haven't got the experience, you're going to maybe go to NVIDIA or to Tech Data, or you're going to try and find a way of getting support. But I think with IMSCAD, what's different is we've got that end-to-end knowledge of the solution. So right end from the apps, even right through to the virtual layer or the cloud deployment. So even say I talk about the cloud, but when you're in the public cloud again, it's the same story. That kind of MV series in Azure or something like that, for example. You've got to deploy that. You've got to get that right. You've got to get the infrastructure right. So there's all that kind of part of the expertise we can bring to the table for resellers and end users. So we're talking about industries, of course, that we work in. NVIDIA work in historically, architecture, engineering, construction, manufacturing, oil and gas, healthcare, public sector. So many areas where graphical applications are used, graphical workflows are required. And these all have their own ISV sets, of course. So we mentioned Autodesk earlier that we work with. they're one of the biggest CAD companies, of course, in the world. But obviously there is a whole plethora of other ones through Dassault Systems, Siemens, right through to even things like Adobe running in a in a virtual environment. So there's a whole kind of and since the pandemic, I think there's been a real shift to this type of work, particularly in those industries, because obviously those guys, when they've had to go home to work quickly, there's been difficult running on VPNs and such like. So there is a challenge on performance, of course, there with the traditional way of doing it, but with these now VDI solutions and stuff from NVIDIA with vGPU, you've really got that centralized solution locked down. Security's there, the performance is there for anywhere, anytime, on any device. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
no, I completely agree. And looking into that more is that when you said earlier, what IMSCAD add to tech data and NVIDIA as a complete package is almost the last string to a bow as such in regards to that services and that support side of aspect of it, where you might not be getting that anywhere else. And I think as a complete package, it's working really well for us. And I really hope it works well for the partners down the line. But I think, looking at that's great. But Omniverse is the next one we're going to go on to. It's the new, it's the exciting, it's it's all over the keynote, and I really do encourage, if you haven't been able to catch the keynote, and I'm sure you agree, it's well worth a watch for the updates, but Omniverse specifically, some of the stuff they're doing in regards to graphics and how they can do that whilst running off slightly less infrastructure than they used to really is impressive. And I know, Charlie, you've got something to speak about that, but once again, it's a similar question. How can IMSCAD help with Omniverse? What's the opportunity and what's it all about, really?
It's a big question, Kieran. I'm not sure I can do it justice in the short time we've got now, but I'll give it a go. It's a really exciting new product or solution from NVIDIA. I mean, in essence, it's a graphical end-to-end collaboration solution, right? Yep. It's actually based on USD, which is Universal Scene Description, USD, which is a powerful 3D framework, which was originally developed actually by Pixar Animation Studios, incidentally. But it's the UCD that forms the base foundation for Omniverse, enabling APIs for composing editing, querying, rendering, collaboration and simulation within the 3D virtual worlds, right? It's the real-time nature of Omniverse that makes it so appealing. The ability to collaborate in real time enables design teams to work together to design and create incredible immersive experiences. I mean, you think of the AEC industry, Adam's already mentioned, you've got an architect and you've got the contractors. They can collaborate in real time to build these immersive environments, to look and have see what the building, the public space, whatever it might be that they're creating looks like before they do it. And you think of the healthcare. I mean, wow, the mind boggles, doesn't it? I mean, incredible.
I completely agree, and it's a product that has no boundaries.
Exactly.
And we spoke about all of those industries earlier.
Yeah.
It even works for the industries that don't exist yet.
Yes.
And that's what I'd say is the stuff that we don't know about. It still works for that.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
And what kind of makes us all work together is AI Enterprise. And Adam, I'll come back to you on that one. Is we hear a lot about it. What I would like, if you can answer it, is some messaging in regards to the partners, the end users. Is what is it? What does it do? And how can you help deploy it? How can you help make it work and make everyone efficient and run cleanly with it?
Well, I don't think it's too much to understate that enterprise AI is going to be a huge product across the board in the market over the next 5 to 10 years. There's no doubt about it. And there's obviously some early adopters in that space already. We work with a number of partners around this space. We're not experts on it, but we've certainly got enough experience with the deployments we've done to be able to help, because it's such a consultative, immersive conversation when you start talking about what result you want to get from an AI project. And invariably, I think this is not unfair to say this. Many fail because their expectations wrong. But we've got some great processes and solutions around this. And I think again, it's a conversation that you'd have to have individually with a reseller or end user as specifically what they want to achieve from an AI project. So from our perspective, it's really that's the basis we'd go forward with that.
Yeah, and I think what's a really good message to get out there is all of this is bespoke, and that's the advantage you get through IMSCAD and through ourselves at Tech Data and your partners and your account managers is that what we can do is we can work together, put together a proof of value, put together a statement of work, all individually, all bespoke, all together, so that we can really make sure that you're getting the most out of what you're buying, and ultimately you're not making any mistakes when it comes to buying it, deploying it, or using it.
Yeah.
And I think just to wrap this up, Charlie, how can they get in touch? When's the best time to get in touch? And what stage would you like them to be at, if any? What would you like to see?
I'd say my short answer is as soon as possible.
Perfect.
In essence. But I mean, I think it's really important to highlight our history with resellers. Obviously, end users as well. We deal directly with end users and will be. Any end users out there, please get in contact, obviously. But in regards to the resellers, we've got a proven, successful process in place. We work with resellers direct. We work with resellers through distribution, like we will be with Tech Data, right? As Adam mentioned earlier, think of IMSCAD as a partner's partner. We've been doing this for over 10 years, right? Around the globe, supporting resellers with consulting, with deployment, with ongoing support. Historically for NVIDIA GPU, utilising Citrix and VMware, I should say. And more recently, we've spoken about AI and we've spoken about Omniverse, right? I really want to point out, something I didn't point out when I spoke about Omniverse, is we have a free demo environment. It's vGPU really, but there's Omniverse on that as well, right? So any customer can get in touch, we can give you a free demo, but I think also for the resellers, it's a really good sales tool, right?
Yes,
absolutely. They can go out to customers with it. It's a really good way of opening the door and having a conversation about these visualization, virtualization solutions that NVIDIA offer, right? And the other thing I'd like to point out is the free demo is part of our free pre-sale service. So we also offer, call it a scoping call or a consulting call. It's a 1 hour call. We do this to all customers. They don't have to have been on either of the demo platforms. And what we've learned in our experience, our history over the 10 years, is that no one customer is the same, right? They're all different. They have a different application mix. They use the applications differently, users in various geos, so it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of understanding to get these solutions working properly. And this scoping call from the outset really helps us to start formulating, that solution for each and every customer. It's a tailor-made, bespoke solution, right? And something you've mentioned already.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think something you touched on briefly is worth mentioning again is that we create a full statement of work for each and every customer we work with. Just to highlight that. But I think aside from that, if you're an end user, get in touch with your reseller, your account manager there. They can reach out to us. If you want to try free demo, you've got any questions, or God forbid you've tried an NVIDIA solution, it's not working, we can troubleshoot that for you as well. I think that's worth pointing out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think just get in touch. We'd love to talk. We'd love to help you, and with any of these NVIDIA solutions.
Yeah, and I can only second that. And thank you very much for listening. If it's a great message. We're really keen to go and bring this message forward. I think it's a great opportunity for everyone. And look, thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thanks, Kieran.
Perfect.
Take care. Cheers, guys.